Hey, howdy, BDubs.
Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Did
So,
I interrupt anything?
no. I was
Okay,
just,
okay.
I'm just hanging out here in, Town or whatever it is.
Aha.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found you guys have a horse-powered trolley. So,
Yes.
I was just enjoying a horse-powered trolley ride.
Yeah. Did it get you very far?
It's not about how far you get, it's about how far you go.
Hmm. I love that phrase.
Thanks. It's nonsense. Anyway, where can I find you? Oh no, I fell off the horse and I'm just now
Oh
on the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah. An accident there. We don't
Yeah.
have insurance here in the city, so please don't, you know,
Oh, good to know.
don't come after us.
Oh, I won't. I wouldn't dare. Um, but yeah, of course, my next of kin, that's always a different thing. Anyway,
Mhm.
so I heard you have a new hair cuttery.
Yes. Yes, I do. A barber shop. You want to go to it?
I would love that. Could you show me the way?
Yes. It's called Snipz.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the smaller places in town. Just around this corner. These buildings, these recently sold.
Oh, wow.
For
Yeah, I heard there was quite the auction.
yeah, little auction going on. Little auction. So I'm apparently the wealthiest person on the server now. I don't
Oh, that's good. You
club.
probably want to put that in a thumbnail.
Yeah, oh right. That's a good idea. Yeah. But right this way. Here's the barber
Thank you.
shop. Yeah. Got some heads of people here to kind of just display what we can do
Mm-hmm. I love it.
out front. Yeah.
They look excited
And
about
then,
hair changing.
Yeah. So, and here it is.
Delightful.
This is the place. Yeah. Do you want a haircut now?
Yeah, I was thinking now would be a great time. Which chair would you like me to hop into?
Ah, right. Right over here. Right over here.
Okay.
Now, while I have you here, let me take this and let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm. Ow.
Why'd you leave as my neighbor?
Well, I'm sorry, V-Dubs.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes something just falls out of the sky and your whole life just changes in an instant. And, that's just how it is.
That sounds rehearsed.
It's not. I wish I had a better answer when people... My
I
daughter
gave you
will not
horses.
stop asking me. She keeps asking me, what was the motivation of the countdown? Why did the countdown want to make people change their bases? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, B-Dubs. But that's just what happened, and that's what I'm doing.
It's just what you're doing. Okay. Because I gave you horses, and I said, what did I say?
You
says
said
payment
in neighborly kindness.
Neighborly kindness. And now you're all the way across the world, other side of the planet.
Yeah, I'm across that vast deserted mesa that is the mining district.
Right. Exactly. Are you enjoying it over there?
I kind of am. It's nice making a mess with other people's stuff. Because here's the thing, is like, you know how like sometimes you're looking at your base and you're like, that building should be 10 blocks over.
Yeah.
But you're like, I don't want to build that building a second time.
Right.
In this case, I've never built any of this stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
XP Crafted built it all. So I'm just like, well, I'm tearing that down, putting it back up 10 blocks over, all that sort of stuff. It's very liberating.
Wow. Okay. I like that. And so you're in a new place, a new location, it's a new you, and you want a new hairstyle.
I feel I owe it to you as your neighbor, if not geographically, spiritually, to allow you to exert your neighborly influence all over my scalp. So,
okay. Wow.
Let's see what you can do.
That's really kind. Okay. Well, you know what? I've got a couple of options, and I know you had mentioned some things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got a couple good options here for you.
Okay.
Now, option numero uno would be this one.
Ooh.
this is your standard, Gen Z faux hawk, but on the side, shave in the @ symbol that is synonymous with Joe Hills. Yeah.
I love it from a branding standpoint.
Yes.
And that's one of the most important standpoints when it comes to, the moneymaker that is my face and hair.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, that is the moneymaker. Yeah. And I can even try it on. For goodness sakes. Okay, I can even try it on for you here. Let's see if I can put it on. And you can kind of see it in motion. Here it is walking around. So yeah, that's option 1.
Wow.
Now, option 2, and you don't have to decide right away. Option 2.
I want to see them all.
We shave the whole head.
Mm-hmm.
We also double as a tattoo parlor here.
Okay.
And we scalp tattoo the whole thing.
Wow.
The sides, the top, a little on the front, little under the eyes, like Mike Tyson. But this one comes with an additional fun thing that I'll put on for you. Whenever somebody's like, "Hey, Joe," then you go like this. You give them one of these.
Pow. Yeah, that's...
Do you see the @ symbol there?
Yeah, I do. That is interesting. I mean, personally, I'm gonna withhold judgment. I got to see them all, but
okay,
it's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, if you ever wanted to strike fear into people, you tattoo skull.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is kind of what you had said you wanted to kind of go with some color, and of course with the hip style. So we got this bad boy here with the bright green and a little fade, and it kicked off to one side. What do you think of that?
I mean, I've really, of the 3, I love this partially because I can then green screen stuff onto my head in post-production. So, for example, if I'm telling the viewers, "Oh yeah, I was walking down the street the other day and I saw a cute squirrel," I can just chroma the video I took of the squirrel into my head. I can give them a glimpse into my brain. Right?
Okay, now may I? Okay, then you know what? Then what would be a good way to do that is boom. That looks kind of like green screen, doesn't it?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, my software can deal with that.
Oh yeah. Okay, so green screen head.
I mean,
I love that.
I really like all 3 of these.
Okay.
The big thing with the @ sign on the side of the head shaved into the hair and the tattoo is, once COVID's over, I want to get into merch at some point, and I want to sell the @ sign shirts. But if I get people starting to take a razor to their head, they're going to say, well, I don't want to have it in 2 places,
Oh, right.
And unlike you, I'm not a barber, so I wouldn't be making money off those haircuts, So
True.
That's gonna be cutting into my revenue.
Of course.
Same thing.
Brilliant.
Same thing with the tattoo. If I try to go to a tattoo parlor and I'm like, "Hey, I heard you gave somebody an @ Joe Hills tattoo. Could I get a 15% cut of that?"
You get none of that.
I'm getting none of that. Those guys own a tattoo parlor. They're used to, getting shook down, and they're gonna shake me up. I don't need that. No.
Right. And the benefit of this too is anybody with green hair, you can hit them up and be like, "Hey, that's mine," and you could maybe get a piece of that. Of any revenue that they make off of that green hair dye sale.
Yeah. I mean, what I really need to do is get my own line of green hair dye going, because obviously the chemical business is a great way to make money that never has any downside for the environment or animal safety or anything.
That's really true. That's really true.
It's just one of the most natural markets for me to jump into next.
Hair dye market.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then let's go that route. Let's go the hair dye route. Whoops! Okay, I'm breaking my store a little bit, but it should be okay. You hop up in the chair.
Okay.
And then you just close your eyes for a little bit, and I'll take real good care of you.
Sounds wonderful. I could use a nap anyway. Thanks, BDubs.
And done.
Huh? Oh, hey, BDubs. Sorry, I really did drift off. It is
Did
exhausting.
you? Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay. Did you like that massage that I gave you as well as the haircut?
I'm sure it was great. But
it was, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I can kind of see. Wow, that is really green. But
yeah.
I love it.
That's real green. We went real bright green. Oh, you look fantastic, Joe.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's go out. Let's go out in the city and walk around a little bit because I want to see really. Oh, you know what? Before we do, right. Back in.
Wait, what?
Oh, right. That. So with hair dye, it's 6 diamonds.
Oh, well, I don't really have a lot.
And I no compromises.
Okay. So
what is this?
It's what people on the street call ice, which is slang for diamonds.
Are these those ultra purified diamonds?
Oh yeah, they are packed. There's almost nothing but crystallized I don't know,
1, 2, 3,
hydrogen
4, 5, 6. Wow. These are amazing.
I'm sure you'll find a use for them.
Oh, this is better. I've been taking diamonds from people. This is the good stuff. Oh, Joe. Oh, wow. What a great neighbor.
I try.
You can't go outside yet.
Oh.
You know what? Actually, since you always like showing off and beating me to sleep, be my guest. I want to see it in person. There he goes.
Ooh, it's so comfy.
Wow. There it is. You beat me to sleep sometimes on this river.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Occasionally.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. I'm really proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Out in the sun?
Is it looking good in the sunlight?
Oh, it looks so good, Joe.
Dapple me, beautiful sun. Where are you? I actually can't. These
it's
city
behind
streets.
this building over here. Yeah, the sun is just disappears.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah. Dapple. Oh, wow.
Well, thank you so much, BDubs. This is gonna match my green screen perfectly too.
Yes. Oh, perfect. No, thank you, Joe. Will I be seeing you back at the vineyard anytime soon?
Now and again. I'm hoping that XB and I can kind of show each other some of our progress once we're a little bit deeper into it.
Yes.
Right now we're just trying to passive aggressively one up each other on Twitter, that sort of thing. But
I love it. Okay. Well, I will bring a cake over there for you when you stop by.
That would be most wonderful. But hey, if you ever want me to come visit you in particular to show off something that you're working on or to get a little bit of help placing some blocks here and there, just let me know.
Oh, what a good neighbor. Perfect. Thank you, Joe, so much. And thank you for the business.
Anytime, BDubs. Anytime. What's up, folks? Now that I've got a hip, young person, youthful haircut, I figured that I should lean in to the most hip and modern forms of architecture possible while working on this floppy megastructure. That is right, folks. I have gotten into civil engineering. I started figuring out how the road would work in relation to this. I realized that there might be a continuance of it out the back here where we could get a real kind of like shipping port put in. I figured I've got all the other kinds of ports, so why not have that one too? I've got a dock set up around here for smaller watercraft to come up alongside. I started thinking about this, and this building will probably it's going to be too big for just one tenant. And so I thought maybe there'll be 2 major tenants. One of them will be a software company that got their start porting arcade games to the Amiga or Amigo computer systems, and really kind of from there took off, and now they port games from, Switch to iOS or Android or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they make Switch games out of PC games. Maybe they do it all. They're like the sorts of people that are really good at using rad game tools and stuff. But anyway, so the core concept was the other company, to fill this huge corporate space, should probably have something to do with boats. So I decided maybe the other one should be a maritime technology firm, so that they would have like a bunch of small boats out here and different size watercraft where they could like demo and prototype and test a bunch of their different technologies. Now, we're not going to have time to build the boats this episode. In this episode, I've just been trying to get the core concept of the structure in place. Like, here's one elevator shaft. We're going to need more than one elevator shaft. Here is the first floor of the parking deck, which would be like visitor parking, truck loading. I realized trucks would like back up probably to a dock here. So, that would work there. We would have a ramp here that leads up to the first layer of employee parking. I'm realizing as I laid this out, I actually did not factor in where the second elevator shaft would need to be. So I'm going to need to cut into this and work on that. I started kind of roughly establishing how the back wall of the building would look. This is going to be this is the unadorned version. I don't really mess around with creative worlds and prototyping in that way. I just like to iterate in survival mode, which is not an optimal process. This took me a few hours to do. That's an understatement, for irony's sake. But now that it's roughly there, I'm basically going to start figuring out, as I put the garage walls in, or not the garage walls, as I get the garage floors in, I figure at that point, we will start kind of hewing into this here, and there should be actually probably one layer higher here. So we would have this go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'd have like a pillar, and then we would kind of cut another hole here, and that would continue around. So you would end up having some windows in the garage here. That might be more than 6. But that's fine, because, we're not doing the hard work of counting that stuff out now. I'm just kind of expressing how this will look. Then, basically directly above this ramp here, I need to put in a turn here that leads to a second ramp up. I'm figuring there would be a food court, like with some tables and a balcony maybe overlooking the corporate art down there. That would look good. And let's see, this elevator shaft here would lead to the sky lobby for the shipping company. I figure the elevator shaft that would primarily be used by the software company would be back there. And, we'll just figure it all out as we go. But, you don't want to overthink things in Minecraft, especially at this scale. It's a lot more fun to just be like, I don't know, what if the back wall's not flat? And what if a road goes through it? And we put in some pylons. I don't know. Just kind of freestyle it and see how it goes. So, yeah, that is what I'm doing now. I better get back to it if I want to get any more of this done. Time skip. In order to carry these lines down through the base of the construction here, I've realized that what we really need to do is just get rid of all this terrain underneath here. And you know what? I've been trying to pickaxe and shovel and haste and all this stuff out of the way. But realistically, a lot of us don't have time for that. As it has been said, some of us have work in the morning, or virtual school for our children, or what have you. So, in the interest of moving this right along, I think that it might be expedient to just maybe blow a lot of this up. Now, this might cause some residual structural damage, but it's not my job to know the safe amount of TNT to use on a given project. That's the boomers. And you know where they are right now? Offline. So, ooh, okay, so you don't punch TNT to set it off anymore. That's good. Okay, here we go. We are just going to quickly run over here and plant some more of this. We are just going to lay a little bit of wire here. Now, there's ways you can do this with repeaters and stuff that works better. but I think it's just more kind of fun if instead of using repeaters, we just hit the buttons really quickly in succession. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we should probably flee a little bit. A little bit more fleeing might be in order. I'm worried that some parts of the garage may have been damaged. Oh, good. And there's a giant dark cave here. Let's get some torches out. Okay, good. It's not a giant dark cave. It's just a normal-sized dark cave. That was actually probably arguably our fault. But core concept, it'll be a lot easier to bring these stripes down from up there to this level now. This is, despite the damage to the parking surface, probably a fairly productive TNT explosion. Oh, there is another cave. Remember how I was like, what, no caves? Yeah, there are caves. That's fine, we're fine. Okay, so anyway, we should probably start repairing that. Let's go assess the damage with the magic of flight from up here. Oh, yeah, this is, I mean, compared to how much of this I built out, and we could just take one of these spaces and make that our new elevator shaft. So, like, I mean, that's borderline intentional. You know, that's just good demolition demonstration from me, the Joe Hills, who knows how to teach a nation about proper TNT safety. Also, how to strike a zombie. Whoa, it's really dark in here. Where did all of those guys come from? Okay, that's a separate problem we're going to deal with later. Fly away. An entire day has passed since the entire blast that blew all this up. I need to really get in here and just improve this, revamp it, refix it. But you know what? I've got some great personal news. The good news is always good to share. And y'all, I am thrilled as a Let's Player to let you know that I just got back from traveling about 90 minutes away to a rural vaccination site where I queued up in order to see if they were going to have any extra vaccines at the end of the day. And they did. I fell in a pit. But you know what? I won't let that ruin it. I am ecstatic. You know what? This was a long shot. And I knew, like, you know, Joe, you could drive an hour and a half and get in line, and then they might not have extra doses that they're going to throw away. And that's okay. You're not next. You don't have an appointment. But, you know, the governor of Tennessee announced earlier this week that they had thrown away over 4,100 doses across the state up until now. And I was just like, you know what? If I can take a few hours out of my day and drive down there, I should do it. You know what? Because, you know, I don't want to jump anybody in the queue, but if they're throwing them out anyway, that's just wasteful. And I cannot abide that sort of waste. So, you know, it's the sort of thing. We drove down there early, and when we got there, the guy was like, hey, yeah, sorry, you know, you really need to come back in about 2 hours. We're not letting people queue up for the leftovers before then. But hey, there's a good chance you will get it. You know, so I'm like, okay. Well, luckily, one of my friends has parents who live in the area, and they're both vaccinated. And so they let us play in their backyard. My daughter got to hang out on a jungle gym and run around and play with some dogs for a couple hours, and she was just thrilled about that because I don't really have, you know, place like that for her to play at home, and nor do we have pets. So that was a great way for us to pass that time, and I went back there and I got the vaccine, and you know what? I've heard so many stories from people about how, like, they were like, oh yeah, you know, it knocked me out for, like, I took a 4-hour nap, and then I woke up and made dinner, and then I took another 4-hour nap, then I went to bed for 8 hours. And it's like, ooh, yeah, that kind of sounds like a lot. But you know what? It hits everybody differently. For me, I was just like, my arm's a little sore, but you know, it's not too bad. And Then a little bit later, I was like, I'm feeling a little bit tired, but like I'm always tired. That's one of the reasons I'm always running around the house doing stuff. Even like while I'm editing video, like I'll put the video on the kitchen counter while I'm doing dishes or things like that. Because if I sit down for too long, I'm just exhausted. It's really hard being a single parent, y'all. And I'm like, I just start to fall asleep. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired. But everyone's tired right now. I'm tired right now. I'm always tired. It's probably nothing. But I could tell that the vaccine was seriously affecting me, though. When I was driving back home, and the clock in the car was on military time, and my daughter asked about 24-hour time. And we started talking about it, and I realized, you know what? I was in ROTC in college, and I went to Vanderbilt. And let me tell you, the Naval ROTC at Vanderbilt has a lot of nerds in it. It has people who want to be Navy doctors. It has people who want to be Navy nuclear engineers, all sorts of other types of engineers. Like, Vanderbilt is one of those schools that attracts people who are interested in technical things for their engineering school, and the Naval ROTC has a lot of overlap there. And so when I say this blows my mind, this never occurred to me. Like, it just didn't only not occur to me, it never occurred to anyone else who was in ROTC with me at the same time at Vanderbilt, who was a total engineering nerd, computer science nerd, programming nerd, all these different types of nerds, all there. And nobody at any point, like my daughter was asking, like, I mentioned like 0800 or something. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. Saying 100 in a base 60 system is fundamentally broken. Okay? If you say 0800, you're actually saying 9:40 a.m. That's flawed. That is not okay. And no one ever brought that up at any point. It never occurred to me. It never occurred to the people around me. So maybe other people are getting migraines from this vaccine, but it's blowing my mind. So anyway, I can't recommend it enough. I'm also seriously wondering if some of the people who got the vaccine and then like slept a lot, like, I gotta say, I've been like pretty stressed out about everything going on the last few months or year. Actually, we're at a year. Everything that's been going on for the last year with COVID has been continuously stressful for me. And so all of a sudden, just having one less thing to worry about. And I mean, it's a huge thing. Getting your first shot is a huge thing, but like, it's one less thing to worry about. My body's just like, hey, you can worry about one less thing now. For the first time in so long. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe I do need a nap. Now, I haven't taken a nap because this is my recording time, and I think part of being a professional is showing up for work, and so that's what I'm doing. But also, like, at the point where my brain is having, like, epiphanies about 24-hour time, who knows what else is gonna occur to me. Maybe it'll occur to me that, like, maybe I shouldn't work just because it's time to work. But you know what? It's time to work. So I'm gonna keep at it, and let's get more of this all cleared out. Let's get an elevator shaft in. Let's keep this build moving. Time skip! As you can see, I have got that elevator shaft in place, and I have begun to deface these walls, placing windows here and there. But in conclusion, I need to share that you may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free. That's thanks to Patreon sponsor BioDuck. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now present you a poetry prompt of my own devising. Haircut from a friend. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.